Hello again. This week I'm replacing the anti-roll bar and drop link bushings. If we have a look at the diagram, this is the anti-roll bar here. So we're replacing the bushing on this side. So there's two of those, one each side. And then we're replacing the drop link one. So we've got the top drop link and then the bottom drop link. So the bottom drop link goes into the control arm here. So there's one on the top and then one on the bottom. So it comes in three different kits. You could do the anti-roll bar on its own, but I'm doing all three. So this comes in three different sizes, these two bits, three different sizes. So it's either 19mm, 21mm or 23mm. So depending on the size of anti-roll bar you've got, dictates which bushings you should buy. So it's also an opportunity if you want to upgrade your anti-roll bar to a 23mm one, which is supposedly the best one. You could do that at the same time and then get the bigger bushings for those. So yeah, there's two of these which come in like a split design, which pop onto the anti-roll bar, and then you've got the upper drop link one, and then you've got the lower drop link. So this comes with a stainless steel sleeve which goes through it as well. So I've also got some washers for the lower drop link one, so I might be able to reuse the ones on my van, but I'll see what the quality of them are like at the moment. Otherwise I can reuse those. What you'll need for this is a 13mm and 17mm spanners or socket, a vice grip and probably a hammer, but we'll see how we get on. So the three bushes I'm going to be replacing are the anti-roll bar one here, and then the two connected to the drop link. So we've got the upper one here and then the lower one. This is the Powerflex one for the anti-roll bar. It comes in three different sizes. There's a 19mm, a 21mm and then a 23mm. So to check which size you need, if you get a spanner, so this is a 19mm spanner, and then fit it over it, you'll see which one's the right size for you. Obviously if it doesn't fit, it's going to be bigger, so it might be a 21 or a 23. To remove the anti-roll bar and the drop link, there's only two bolts each side. So there's one here which is a 13mm one, and one at the bottom of the drop link, which I'll show you in a sec, which is a 17mm. So this is the bolt at the bottom of the drop link. I'm going to clean that up and then spray it with some penetrating fluid and then see if we can get that off. This is a 17mm bolt here. And now I'm going to undo the bolt here, which holds the bracket in place. I've already undone the other side. So it's a 13mm bolt. So that's the bracket that holds the anti-roll bar in place. You can see that's now free on both sides. So I've removed all four bolts, so there's nothing actually holding this in place now, so I'm going to whack it upwards with a rubber mallet to see if that loosens it. So there we go. That's the drop link free of the control arm now. These are the top bushes that are on they go into the control arm. That's just fell out the bottom. That's the top one. So here's the anti-roll bar and drop links off the van. There we go. So there's a bit of rust on the anti-roll bar. I'm going to clean this up just to see if it's actually still strong enough. It should be, looking at it. I'm going to try and cut the edge off this bush here, and hopefully I can pull it out. I'm going to use this tool with a serrated edge on it. There we go. So the anti-roll bar bushes have actually got a split in them, so you can actually take these off just by prising it apart. There was some surface rust on the drop links, so what I've done is put some of this Built Amber Deox gel on. That should clear the rust off. Once that's done, I'm going to spray paint the drop links and the anti-roll bar with some Rust-Oleum paint, just to make sure the exposed areas of metal are then protected. Here are all the parts together. You'll see I've coated the drop links and the anti-roll bar in Rust-Oleum paint, so that will hopefully extend their life a bit longer. I've also sprayed the original washers. They're in really good condition, so I'm going to reuse those, and the brackets as well. You'll see the bushes that I've taken off the van. So these are the lower drop link ones, and then we've got the upper drop link and the anti-roll bar bush. They're all really hard and rock solid, so it was definitely time to replace these. I think they're the original ones that came with the van 27 years ago, so yeah, let's start fitting them back on the van. Here's the anti-roll bar. If this was the front of the van, you see how it tapers backwards where it meets the drop links. So it goes up and then dips down, and there's a curve up in the middle, just so you make sure you get it the right way around when you're fitting it. The bushes fit on this part of the roll bar here. The bushes split open like this, which means you can actually fit the bushes in situ if they were still on the van attached to the drop links. I'm just going to put some of the Powerflex lube on the roll bar, and then I can fit it. So you see there's a slight taper on this side of the bush, which matches the bodywork, so just got to make sure that's towards the front. There we go. Just be careful of the speedo cable on the other side. I've just looped a cable tie around the anti-roll bar on this side, just so it'll help me when I'm trying to align the bolts on the other side. When you're feeding it through, make sure it sits above the tie rods. Don't tighten this up fully until you've got the bolt on the other side, and then you can do both together. That's the anti-roll bar back in position. You'll see the washers on the lower drop link bushes taper out this way, which looks wrong, but is actually correct. If you were to fit them this way round, it'll actually restrict the movement of the bush and the flex it has, so it'll actually be a much harsher ride. So remember to fit them this way round when you're doing it. For the upper drop link bush, we need to push it halfway onto the drop link, so then we can attach it to the anti-roll bar. There are different methods online that I've seen that use a vise. I don't have a vise, so I'm using an alternative method here, and I'm going to be fitting the drop links to the anti-roll bar while it's still on the van. So I'll just show you that now. So we need to get it halfway on, not all the way through. So what I'm going to use is the lower drop link bush underneath it, just to stop it going all the way through. And then I'm going to put pressure on this with my boot, and that will pop in then. There we go. I've not applied any lube to the outside edge of the bush, because I've read some cases online where the anti-roll bar pops out of the drop links because they're too lubed up. So the only lube I'm going to put on these are the insides. Just putting lube on the inner bore of the upper drop link. I'm now going to fit some vice grips, and they're going to go just past the point where the bush will fit. That will stop it going any further when I'm putting it on. For the lower drop links, I'm just going to put some lube in the centre again, and also on the sleeve that it goes into. So on the drop link, the washer goes on first, so it's that way up. Then the first bush and the sleeve. So we're just going to slot that into the hole in the lower control arm there. Next is the fun bit. So what we need to do is get the lip of this over the end of the anti-roll bar, but we don't want this part of the bush to pop out until we've got it halfway on. There we go. I've cut the video so you won't see all the failed attempts I had trying to get this on. When I was pushing it forwards, the bush was either trying to pop out onto the anti-roll bar and out of the drop link, or back into the drop link and it won't go onto the anti-roll bar. So as you're doing it, you can feel the pressure of it start to slip. So it's a bit of trial and error, I think, to get this right. But the most important thing is to, once you've got it onto the lip, is keep the pressure forward when you're using the clamp to pull it together, just to stop it from popping out again. If you do have a vise, then you could try that other method. So if you have a look on YouTube, you'll find that video from Vanagon. So that's another option for you. The last step of the process is to put the bush on the bottom of the drop link, so that's what I'm going to do next. So there's a bit of lube on the inside of the bush again, and just push it on, and the washer that way around. There we go. So that's it, there's no more adjustments to make, they just bolt straight back into place. Now that I've renewed the bushings on the anti-roll bar, the radius rod and the lower control arm, my alignment's going to be completely out, so I'm going to have to get that done somewhere. I'm going to try and do the toe settings myself, so there might be another video for that one. I've not addressed the upper control arm, the wishbone bushes yet, so they probably need replacing as well, but that's for another time. So that's it for now. Hope that's been useful for you.